Ooh, that looks tasty.
Welcome, folks. Jay the Hungry Gamer is back with another episode of Boards and Brews, and today I'm rejoined by my occasional regular co-host, Original Don, and for the second time, Mr. Cardboard Alchemy,
Hello.
the myth, nay, dare I say, the legend of cute little dragons, Peter Vaughan.
Hello.
And Peter is joining Don and I to talk about RageCon and a little bit maybe about TrainCon, as is our now kind of yearly journey that we go on. And then after the break, there's going to be magic's going to happen, and Lana from Level Up Board Game Podcast is going to be back to talk about Conquest Princess with me. It's total magic. We're not quite sure how it's going to happen, but it will. So jumping right in, since we've all been here before, everyone knows who everyone is. Peter, what is your brewed beverage tonight?
Well, I'm drinking tea because I do like a good cup of tea. Black tea specifically. This is blackberry sage.
It's very wise.
I mean, so good. This Republic of Tea. I tried it in like a iced tea form like a couple summers ago, and it's. I don't know why sage lately is my thing, but I also just tried sage in some. It's like someone made like cheddar biscuits with sage, and I was like, I don't know why I'm suddenly discovering that sage is fantastic, but in a tea, it's also fantastic. So that's what I'm drinking, and I'm drinking in this mug, which I got from the Aquarium of the Pacific, which is pretty cool. It's
Oh, so it's not Cthulhu. In that case,
I
it's
know.
acceptable.
Okay,
it's
great.
not creepy at all. It's lovely.
They have a Cthulhu in the aquarium. What are you talking about, Will?
Right? Yes, lots of them. All right, so myself, I'm also drinking tea. I actually have two kinds of tea. I got some iced tea in my Dead Guy Ale mug.
Okay.
And then I also have some hot Irish breakfast tea in my Bad Comet Games Majestic Fish Horse mug from Wondrous Creatures.
Well, nice. Like Irish tea, nice.
Yeah. How about you, Don?
Oh, I'm drinking a plain old Blue Moon. This is my comfort beer when I'm not feeling creative and adventurous. Blue Moon's always reliable. I was too lazy to put it in a glass and slice up an orange, but it's delicious.
But we know you sliced an orange in your heart.
Blue Moon, would you like to sponsor this? When I'm feeling lazy, I would like Blue Moon. Comfort beer. We'll go with that.
I said comfort beer.
You did start with that.
It's probably my go-to favorite.
Nice.
But I do like to experiment with other stuff.
I mean, you know, maybe they will sponsor us because Fort Point had a chance and they chose not to do it.
They had so many chances.
I know. Fort Point, if you want to do it, I'll still say yes. Just keeping it. All right, so jumping in, we'll talk about recent plays. Now, usually we talk about 2 or 3 recent plays, but since there's 3 of us, and we got a big con recap to go over, so just one recent play, and then we'll come back around for what's the next game that we're going to play. And why don't we start with you, Don? What's your recent play?
Just played last night. I think it was game 6 of Clank Legacy 2. Playing that with my 3 adult children. It is exactly our sense of humor. Just lots of silly references, the occasional pun. The turns get a little long in the game because you build up a lot of stuff you can do, and so that can happen, but you know, we're just patient with it. We play through a game and it's colorful. You're destroying cards, you're putting stickers on the board, you're putting stickers on the cards. There are certain cards where you get to name the character, and just it's amazing. It's great. No spoilers, but
are you ripping the cards?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
We have a little bowl that we keep on here in the game room, and it's just full of half cards, just so we can see the growth of that pile of destruction. And yeah, it's great. There's even the occasional token, I think, that you destroy. And by destroy, I mean we also put it in the bowl. Okay. We're not like burning it or anything, but yeah.
I mean, I assume you're gonna burn all of it at the end, right?
Of course, yeah. Got to get that shelf space back.
Exactly.
Which I'm lying, because Clank Legacy 1 is sitting behind like Clank Legacy 2. Which, thank goodness, because there are connections between them. Like I said, no spoilers, but there are connections, and so Yeah, it's great. This game is as delightful as the first one, which is saying something.
Oh, that's
That,
cool.
does it take as long to do the stickering in between games? Because in Clank Legacy 1, but when you got halfway through, I would spend like 25 minutes stickering and finding new stickers and setting stuff up.
No, I want to say a lot of the stickering is in game. Like you discover a new location and you pull out the stickers and add them to the board or the cards or whatever. So it's not a lot of setup stickering, if that makes sense.
Peter, have you played Clank Legacy 1?
I have not. I would like to try it. I'm
Hmm.
behind several Legacy games. I also have owned for a while Betrayal Legacy, and I'm still waiting. I still need to get
Hmm.
to the table.
You really do. It is such a great Legacy game.
Yeah.
Like whether you like a Betrayal or not, like people got their opinions on Betrayal, but as a Legacy, it's brilliant. And it's the only one I've played that really sticks the landing. Because like the ending of Clank Legacy 1, spoiler, was disappointing, I thought.
I don't even remember how it ended. I just know it was fun along the way.
Yeah, it was great fun along the way, but it had like a accomplish this kind of goal as you're all playing, and if you don't, it says do it again. And we were like, no, we magically did it. That's amazing. Let's score.
That sounds like the end of our Pandemic Legacy 1. We got to the end and it's like, oh, we lost. And Adrian said, no, we didn't. We accomplished that last 1.1% thing we needed to do. We won.
Very
And
aggressively.
I totally, yeah.
Yeah.
He was insistent, and I agree.
Yeah, it's just so disappointing. But otherwise, yeah, it's a really good Legacy. Peter, have you gone through any
Mhm.
Legacy games before?
Yeah. I am a big fan of the Legacy genre, and my first one was Risk Legacy.
Mm.
Classic. I loved that was such a great job the way that
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 was
was.
like in 1976 or something,
I
right?
know, it was amazing. I missed Seafall. I played Pandemic Legacy. I got through, then I started my series of getting through about halfway through Legacy games. Charterstone, it wasn't the same type of Legacy, but I got halfway through that one. And then I did make it all the way through Ticket to Ride Legacy, which was my
That was
last
a good
one
one.
finished. I'm solid. I'm a
Are
big
are you the person I know that like just played it through in a weekend? You guys just did
Yeah,
the whole
I
thing?
did. That's my big, because otherwise I don't make them through. So I want to I do it in a convention. That would be the best plan, is just like, let's play the whole thing. Um, my
Yeah,
least,
I might have to do that for Tales from the Red Dragon Inn at this point
yeah.
because it's on my 10x10 and I have played 0 games.
Well, I will play it with you. We are actually in like 2 weeks. We're playing game 20 of that. I actually got a mini I got to go
Nice.
paint, so it's ready to go. Yeah, Don and I are playing Divinus right now,
Mhm.
and we've haven't gotten to it in a while. And that's another one where I feel like I'm stickering
Legacy?
like 20 minutes every
I
game.
didn't realize that was a legacy,
Oh
actually.
yeah, yeah. It's a resettable
Yeah.
legacy. I got like
Oh, okay.
2 recharge packs that go with it. Now that I think about it, I was like, why did he even get the recharge pack? I'm not gonna recharge this thing and do it again. Like I'm enjoying it, but
Right.
there's a 0% chance I'm gonna do that. But anyhow, how about you, Peter? What's your recent play?
My recent play, and I mean, I know this is cheating because this is a game that I'm publishing.
Checkers.
Andromeda's Edge Genesis is what I'm playing, which is the expansion that we're working on constantly to launch next at Cardboard Alchemy. And Luke Laurie, one of the co-designers, has said that he would not play Andromeda's Edge without this now, and I'm starting to think that I won't either because
Sounds like a marketing pitch if I
I
ever
know,
heard
right?
one.
Yeah.
I know. I was going to say, did Peter pay you for this commercial?
I don't know. Let me go check my PayPal. Hold
I
on.
I will later in our best games of the con recount an Andromeda's Edge story as one of the moments because it was a really good one. But I've been playing it a lot and
So
making it because we just sent the prototype files to the printer, and we're modeling the new Raider miniatures. It's a lot of fun. Having a good time.
so what is new in Genesis?
There's a lot of new parts to it. There's new ways to score because the idea of the Genesis in sort of Luke and Maximus's mind is that you've settled now at the edge. You've decided this is going to be the place where you're going to live. So you started to terraform the planets and you're finding out that there's new creatures in the in the nebula, and you're also discovering ancient shrines, corrupted stars that you're trying to save and bring back. All sorts of interesting different ways to play. And you're also discovering raider technology. Like if there was a couple reviewers that said the one thing they thought was missing from Andromeda's Edge was the ability to take over and control one of the bad guys, and we're putting that in so that you can not only take over the enemy ships but also learn their technology, which tends to be more those cards are nastier but also different than any other thing that we've had in the game. So
I was not aware if I bitched about something in my video, it would be put in an expansion.
Well, you should know that when you say something to a publisher, sometimes it could happen. In fact, you suggested one of the new raiders of Andromeda's Edge Genesis.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
You joked about it, and then it's now going to happen. So I just want to know what you have such power.
Yeah, it's you. It's really Don. Don's really the power.
This is the chicken faction.
No,
Yeah,
it's not doing the
chicken
chicken
didn't make it yet. No, I'm sorry.
No, it's the Cosmic Frog.
There is
Deserves its own expansion.
Cosmic Frog has been such a so it was a thrill because I got introduced to Cosmic Frog because of you, and who would have thought a game about 2 mile high galactic frogs could exist in the board game hobby and be such a blast? But it is.
Yeah.
The frogs are really my favorite part about it, because I love variable player powers, is that like every couple rounds you switch to a different power, and then your game is completely different, and you're still punching people in the face and trying to swallow all the galaxy.
And you're either really angry or really happy every time it happens too.
But yeah.
Like you're never nonplussed in that game.
Yeah, and so I
No.
would say, and we'll let backers be the judge of this, but I think it's the coolest raider that's existed in the galaxy now.
Wow.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
bold. Well, I guess you'll have to back the game, everybody, to find out. All right, so my recent play is I was mentioning to Peter before we started. This time of the summer, it's my play as much dungeon crawl as I can because I'm a school teacher, so I'm home alone all day and I can do whatever I want. And so I've been through 2 of them lately. I just took one off the table today. I've been playing Pericle: The Gathering Darkness. I played like 7 hours today. And I played like 6 hours yesterday. It's not healthy. It's not remotely healthy.
It's better than video games.
What's that? Oh, that's true. And I had to like move my hands and my arms
Right?
like in a video game. I'm just doing this. So this is like I gotta. You can see, right? My shoulders are looking kind of
No.
swole. But so this is a cool one, and people get really pissed off about this game because like it uses a website, which is where all the stories contained. And it's like choose your own adventure. You're going through, you're doing stuff, and I know them a little bit. I've talked to them, and they check this. They have all these stats. Every now and then they'll put up an ad. It'll be like 72% of parties have done this, and 1,947 characters have been killed. Like they put the stats up, and I know on the back end they're changing stuff as if people keep making one choice, like well this other choice isn't good, so they mess
cool,
with it.
actually.
Yeah.
I really like this.
But the other thing that's really cool is all the monster stats and everything are in the app. It rolls your initiative, it tracks that, and then you do the fighting, you roll the dice, you cast your spells, but then you just click the button and it's like, oh, they're knocked prone, and it'll tell you when it comes up, oh, well, they're going to do this. So it kind of has an AI, but you also kind of have to play it. It's very, very cool. I really like it as a really unique character creation system and leveling system and all that. Lots of fun. And I thought this was going to be the day I was going to finish this thing. I did not.
No. Very nice.
Didn't make it. But I got to a real big moment. Like the big bad has revealed.
Oh, cool.
And it's not who I expected. And this is hard for me. And one of my characters got killed. Had to make a new one, bring him back in. My big hero character almost got killed. I mean, this has been a trying day for me. So
do you like it in dungeon crawls when there's that, like, I mean, characters can die I mean, is that a normal expectation, or do you think that most of them have squeak out and live kind of scenarios where you can't get killed or anything?
All of them do. In fact, in all the ones that I play that I do the permadeath thing, it's always the permadeath's always the optional rule.
Oh,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, it's always like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. But then when the scenario's over, you come back at 1 hit point or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't do that.
There's always they're knocked out option.
Yep. Ironically, in video games, I am the don't you kill my character. Like I'm the exact opposite. I will put it on story mode if I have to because I don't want my guy to die, which is weird to me.
Yeah.
But if I'm
Or
chucking the dice, die.
just makes for a better story, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it also kind of lets you kind of vary up, the characters every now and then. Like the one who died is not the one I would have killed. It was the most recent one that I added because I started with just 2 characters to understand the game, and as I understood it, I increased it to a party of 4, which is cool in itself that I can control a party of 4. But yeah, I don't know, it's really great. I love it. It has all acrylic standees, so in just like a normal human-sized box, it has I don't know 80 monsters. Fully
Nice.
colorized. It has the front and back art on them,
Uh,
so that's really cool. But that's what I've been playing. I know neither of you have played it, so it's not a very good conversation. I should have picked something else, but
it's all
whatever.
good. I now want to play it, so
It was a great story. Well
Yeah.
I
done.
know.
I've actually always wanted to do something with that. I did build a video game in 2012 on Facebook that tracked stats, and I love seeing those kind of stats. Like if you have multiple people playing all over the world and you can kind of track like what decisions everyone's making, I find that fascinating.
Yeah, it's actually my favorite ad when they put up. Well, my second favorite ad. One of the ads they put up is my video on it, so that's clearly the greatest ad ever. But a very distant seconds they put one up, and it talks about like how many parties have progressed X far through the game, and I think it's really cool. I don't know why more people don't think
Yeah, that
that's really
sounds
cool.
fun. That sounds really fun.
All right, so Don, let's come to you. What's on your table for next? What's the next game getting played?
So this is a hopeful next, but and we're going to talk about it more as we go on. But I picked up Bombusters at the convention. We'll get deeper into it, but it's just delightful, and I can't wait to introduce the kids to it. It's just a fun cooperative game about diffusing bombs, and I'll just say that because I know we're going to get to it some more. But it was a nice surprise. I hear it's all the rage, but I had never heard of it walking into the weekend. And then, well, your brother was just like, "Hey, I want to try that game," and I said, "Well, I'll just go buy it." And he said, "No, you've got to try it first." So I went 2 days without buying it, and then I was like, "I'm just going to buy it so we can play," and I'm just really glad I did.
Yeah, it's I'd heard about it from Michael Kelly from One Stop Co-op Shop, and he'd been talking about it before that got its Spiel nominated, whichever thing it's nominated for.
Yeah, I
And
just seem to be tuned out lately. I had never heard of it.
yeah, I remember him talking about it, and I just never followed up about it. But yeah, everyone loves it. Uh, yeah, Peter, you played with us too. What did you think?
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely it could be on my favorite of the con. So
Okay, well,
Hey.
zip.
yeah, right. Like it could be. I had a great time, and I can see why it's nominated.
Yeah, well, when we talk about it later, I'll talk about it. Uh, so we can finish this with a cardboard alchemy commercial sandwich. I'll go next as I talk about my next one is another dungeon crawl because I said I got to cycle through. It's called Nanolith, and it's right. Oh, you can almost see it. This is a cyberpunk dice placement dungeon crawl adventure game. I previewed it like 3 years ago, and I remember thinking it was really cool. And I have zero memories of it. And they reached out and like, hey, we're gonna do an expansion. You wanna check it out? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I haven't played. I don't. Maybe I don't. I don't remember. So this is my next one. I think this is a shorter one, so it's possible if I do another 20 hours in the next few days, I could actually finish the whole thing. We'll see. So it's a yeah dice placement. Roll your dice. Use those dice to activate powers, which I love so very much. But take us home, Peter.
Surprised you
Close
didn't
this
say about
Oreo of
I'm surprised they didn't
meeples.
say like above and below haunted or something. You know what I mean?
Oh boy, Above and Below Haunted, man.
Like that sounded good.
It's really fun, and it's a total sidebar. My wife, so you guys know my wife, and you know she doesn't like to lose, and she's not the best at losing, and she admits this. I kicked the crap out of her last night or 2 nights ago in
Not
Above and
very
Below
smart.
Haunted, and she didn't even care.
Oh,
That's how much she likes it. She's like, no, that's okay because I got to have this story and I got to do this thing and look how great my town is and look how happy my people are and yep. And so to me, that is like the white
wow,
whale.
that's a good game.
Yeah, it's if you ever played Above and Below, it's better in every aspect. They've improved it all the way across the board.
Cool. I want to play that one. Coming up for me next, though, this is also a cheat, and as you alluded to, it's again a cardboard alchemy game because that's all I get to do is play the games we're working on, which is not a complaint, by the way. I love the games we're working on. But we're working on a game called Whisperwood, which is a bag builder a la the style of Orlean Altiplano by three designers, Brad Brooks, my co-founder, and Chris Strain and Aaron McDonald. And they have created it's really fun. You are a druid trying to restore the forest and the water and air that have been like long lost, like corroded this one area that no one goes in, and you're using the animals of the forest to bring it back.
And so
What
you don't want to
animal,
go in there. Send
what
them in to get corrupted.
well, yeah, you're kind of dealing with this corruption, but you're talking to these ancient golems that are inside the forest and learning their secrets, casting spells, and what animals you decide to put in your bag determines what powers you have. What golems you talk to determines what you could discover. Uh, it's so much fun. It's the one that we're going to dive into coming up after Andromeda's Edge, and so we've started working on it. I don't get to play it as much as the rest of the team, but I could I sort of at RageCon, which we're gonna talk about. I'm not gonna mention it there too much, but we put it on the table, I think 6 times there. So it's not only next, but it's currently now for me, that game.
Only 6 times it seemed like you were playing that fairly
Yeah, I know.
constantly.
I was about to say, it seemed like every time I walked by, one of you was playing
Oh,
Whisperwood.
we alternated. At Kubla Con we did 9 times, so it was a little bit of
Wow.
a we dropped our ratio. We had maybe because we were doing more fun things at RageCon. Yeah.
And so, speaking of RageCon, let's
Right.
talk about RageCon. What a segue,
What a
right?
segue, yeah.
Right.
Nice.
This the like
Can I
I'm like a
just
mall
say,
cop. I segue so hard, y'all.
can I say that every time I tell someone I went to RageCon, they just immediately say, you know, what did you get angry? What is RageCon?
Yeah, it's like it's so disappointing when you learn what the acronym actually means.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
When
like
I
just
tell people.
But so just briefly, like I have a whole video talking about RageCon.
Oh,
What are
okay.
your impressions of the con itself? How is it organized? Space, food, all the
It
stuff that's important.
reminded me exactly of last year's RageCon, like the layout, everything was exactly the same. Oh wait, no, it was completely different. That was
You missed the cavernous, undecorated hall from
I
last year.
I don't know what to think about a con that doesn't want to be the same as itself ever. In fact,
Yeah.
when we asked them next year, though, you'll stick this one, and they said, nope, we're going to be doing it completely different again. It's kind of making me rageful, just that part of it.
There it
little
is.
bit.
There's the rage.
Here's the
Yeah,
rage.
but you're talking about the cavernous hall. I really appreciate last year and this year. You never felt crowded. Like
No,
like you
It
go to
really
Gen
doesn't.
Con or whatever, you go into like the open gaming area, and it's like you do this and you're touching somebody. But
Hmm.
this, it was like luxury.
Hmm.
was, and the hall was, I liked everything about this year's con. The room that we were in for most of the time was a very interesting kind of convention ballroom where the ceilings were low, so the noise wasn't echoey, and then the ceiling went up and up and up, and then kind of the room expanded. It was really an interesting room.
Yeah, I thought it worked really well. It was in a casino, which I guess maybe it was in a casino last year. I can't remember, but the benefit of that was there was lots of food options all around.
Yeah, it
We're
was in
open.
a convention center connected to a casino last year. And so the convention space itself, like we said, was these big cavernous halls, um, high ceilings and everything. And so it was delightful. It was a lot of fun, but it was just this big empty space that just seemed undecorated and very spare. And this year it was a nice convention space inside the casino. And
Yeah.
frankly, that lower level where the convention was like a mall all around the convention space. There were so many restaurants. There were stores that I never went into. There
We
was
could
a
have gotten
bowling alley
tattoos.
one level up. We could have gotten tattoos and or piercings at the
I
same
know.
place. Opportunity missed.
Right? I mean, you could have gotten the little Flamecraft dragon on the small of your back, Peter.
No, maybe next time.
They no, it will be
Oh,
there next
We'll
time.
be there.
There
We
you go.
missed it.
I'll accept
Oh,
your
no.
role. Yeah. So just overall impressions, it was great. It was well organized. I played actual scheduled games, which I often avoid at conventions just because I like to have free time. But it was just it was good. I love what is the software they're using for
Cardboard events.
cardboard events. It's great. It's just such a good platform. They use it for the Dice Tower conventions too, I believe. I know they use it for Dice Tower West, and I think other conventions are picking it up. And it's just it's smooth signups for games. It's easy. Like there's a chat associated with every game if you want to have a conversation with the people you're going to be playing with. I never did that. I don't know why you would, but it's nice that the option's there.
Well, I was planning on doing it because one of the games that I ran was Inferno, and I put
Mhm.
in the and that's a Peter. Have you played that one?
Not.
Oh my gosh, you have to. But it's a heavier one, and I put into the sign up like you need to have some rules familiarity. And for a while
Mhm.
there was other people signed up, and they changed, about 2 weeks out. But I was going to use that the week before and send a link to the rules just to everybody. Say, hey,
Right.
remember everybody, like, because if I have to teach this thing cold, we're going to be there for 5 hours. But
Right.
like, so to be able to use it like that, you can reach out to people. Yeah, it's great. I love the way things were scheduled. That's why I signed up to run so many games this time because it was so easy. It's very,
Mhm.
very cool.
My impressions of I was at RageCon for the second time, and it's a small con, right? It's a comfy,
Yeah, I
cozy.
think Jeff said it was 1,500 this year. I think he said.
Yeah, which is actually similar to the Los Angeles Run convention, I believe. I think it might be a little bit bigger than that. But a couple of things that I really like about this con is one, they somehow have everyone completely addicted to raffles, and I think it's great.
Mhm.
People like get into it, like they get rage bucks if you demo a game, and we as Cardboard Alchemy donated prizes to the raffle, and the raffle is serious. Like they were
Yeah.
adding more and more raffles because they got a
Mhm.
lot of prizes, and people love that stuff. I mean, they just really did a good job of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
And
logistically on their end, it's an absolute
Oh,
nightmare.
absolutely, 100%. Because
But
they
it's
had
so
a
much
great
fun.
team running it though. The
yeah,
Yeah,
just the little team of, I don't know if they're volunteers or employees, but the folks, they were having fun with it. Their energy was positive. It was great.
yeah.
yeah.
And
The
and
other
it's
thing I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, the other thing that I really like is I don't know, the way they handle special guests and sort of making sure they get someone from every part of the industry, and making sure they get men and women, and just I like the way that RageCon's running their show.
You
That's
like the
pretty
cut of their jib, huh?
yeah, exactly. It's a good show.
Yeah, it's circling back to that Rage Bucks. Like it's ridiculous how much fun it is. But the benefit I
Mhm.
think is as someone who's running games, very few no shows, and I
Yeah,
really think it's just people want those Rage Bucks.
Mhm.
Like people don't bail, and it's great.
yeah.
Now, Don, you actually won something this year.
I did. What did I win? Oh, I won Starship Captains
Oh,
from
nice.
CGE.
CGE. Thank you. My brain's not working. Which we got to play, and it was fun. It was the very, very last night of the con, so our brains were not fully operational at that point. But it's a game I've been curious about. It was a lot of fun. I was excited to win it. I put all of my tickets in that box.
Well, I worry. Well, I put all of my tickets and all of your tickets for the rest of the time because I was trying to win Sagrada Artisans, which I
Mhm.
can just go buy. Like it's
Yeah,
not like I
right.
can't just go buy it, but man, I wanted to win so bad. And
It was
it's
really cool. Something that I saw happen because Breaking Games donated a copy of Dwellings of Eldervale, and we donated a copy of Andromeda's Edge, and the same person, I think, won both. What a
Yes.
I was like, how are you gonna get on the plane now? So sorry, but congratulations.
he's just gonna open
Mhm.
those boxes and make a boat and float home. Well, I guess it's in Reno. You ain't floating anywhere in Reno.
Nope.
But yeah, there's a really nice double set of Andromeda's Edge and Dwellings of Eldervale up on eBay right now. It's real nice.
Yeah,
Still in shrink. Just has a
yeah,
little
Signed by Luke
tear that's
Laurie.
where it's got a Luke
yeah,
Laurie
yeah, they're
signature.
signed. Yeah, 100%. Those were signed.
Pretty positive all around. I think they went a long way to fixing the vendor hall this year, which wasn't perfect, but last year was a mess. It was
Mhm.
this horrible like dark hole, and like you walk down the hole and try not to make eye contact. Because like I've been in the booth, if someone makes eye contact, they're yours, and like
Yes.
you gotta grab them. Say I don't want that. And you get to the end, and it was a dead end. You had to turn around and go
Oh
back
yeah,
through the
I
gauntlet.
have some more things to say about this exhibitor hall experience.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
I mean, the dead end thing is quite curious, and I think
Mhm.
I it turned out to be cool, an exhibitor hall that I really liked, so it's going to make one of my mentions later. But the choice to do dead ends is, I don't think, a good one because okay, so a couple of things that they do. First of all, they don't want to they want to have these dead ends to create an interesting maze-like pattern. But as you said, if you're trying to make no eye contact with a thing you don't want, and then you hit the dead end, then you have to go back past the one that you didn't want, and you have to disappoint them twice, and you don't want to. You just go, I know you want to talk to me, but I don't want that thing, so I'm gonna quietly shirk back down this other
I
dead
won't lie. Last year, those were so long. I absolutely pretended to be on phone calls.
end.
One
The
hundred percent.
The second
Yeah.
strategy that they did, which I think is very interesting, is normally you pack all of the exhibitor hall together in one spot, but they decided to put it in multiple spots to create demand and interest in other parts of the convention, which is good and interesting. It's a bold design choice, but what it did was there'd be like two vendors off on their own, another whole area going, no one has come here for
Hey
hours.
guys.
I think I found that on the last day.
I felt bad for those people, and I go,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they should have just crammed you all together because that's what it made sense. But despite all that, oh, and there's one other factor that I think is worth saying is that they believe, at least this is what I heard, this is my thoughts from seeing what I saw, is that they don't believe in just board game vendors.
Hmm.
Which is an interesting move, because then you're like, oh, this is selling a game, and now this is an author, and this person is selling windows for a house. I'm just like, I don't need windows right now. I needed a board game, and so I don't have anything to say to you. So I'm skipping you, and I'm moving on. And it's like, oh, you're doing custom oil changes. Okay, I don't need that service either right now. I'm not with my car, so I'm so sorry.
But that one person that did, it's
Mhm.
like
Right?
That was the
I have
payoff.
this image of all these people who like really wanted to get windows, and like the shop's closed, and they had to haul their ass over to RageCon to go in to find out about their dual layered windows. That's the story I want.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about their strategy on that one, which is, let's take anyone from the Reno area that wants to exhibit. Uh,
Mhm.
it's a curious mix, but that does lead to some surprises. So, it's an interesting, yeah.
All right, so moving into our best of the con. So we have 5 different categories. And the categories are going to be the best moment, the biggest surprise, best loss, best win, and game of the con. We'll go in that order. So we'll jump in with the best moment of the con. And I'll jump in first. Backyard chickens.
Nice.
So I
Appreciate
was
that.
going to run a game, and I was like, Don's going to be here. Hey, Don, if I run a game of backyard chickens, will you teach it? And That's how it went. He's like, sure. And then when I was sent a copy to give away of Mouse Cheese Cat Cucumber to the winner of that game, I was like, hey, Don, should we give a copy away? And when again, I say we, like I had anything to do with this. He's like, sure. And so we played I think it was 5-person game of
Yes. Full
Backyard
player count.
Chickens. And the designer of Potions of Azurland, who had been running Potions of Azurland, I think 5 times a day, every single day. And it's a
Yes.
game that once you get it, that last 90 minutes or whatever that he's sitting there, he's just sitting there and answering the occasional question. So we're right next to him. And I was telling him about the game. And I was like, hey, you want to play? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, but if I have to do this, I was like, you just be on my team. And if you can take 2 steps over, you'll run the turn. Otherwise, whatever. Peter, dude was like running like a subprime mortgage. Like he had us leveraged to hell. Every turn, he was like, all right, look, it's 68% chance we get what we need. But if we don't get what we need, it's over. All the chickens are dying. There's no chicken in the world. And it just kept hitting
Love it.
over and over.
He was
Dude
on a hot
ran
streak.
away with the game. It was amazing. Loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody shouting about statistics in a game of Backyard Chickens. It was fantastic.
That is a great moment.
And it was the 2 of you and then 2 couples who were having a lot of fun. They were just all about the cute chickens, the names of the chickens and all of that. And then
and then there's
you and he are over there shouting about the statistical chance of winning or failing. And
yeah,
it was
it's like
great.
that GIF where it's got the numbers floating across. Like that's what was happening on our end, and
Mhm.
then everyone else was like, "I want to feed little Betty a peanut," and he's like, "No, we have to get the water cooler. We need the water cooler."
Yeah, I miss games of that. I want to play that now.
It was ridiculous. So for me, but the actual moment was after he won. I took the game over to him. I was like, the winner takes it if you want it. And he was so happy because one, he got to take the game, which as we've already discussed is lots of fun. But he's been trying to get his buddy to try a deck builder with him, and he's never done it. And his buddy raises chickens.
Oh, there we go.
Delightful.
Yep, he was like,
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
got him.
This is the way.
Yeah.
that made me happy. Yeah.
All right, Peter, how about you? What was your best moment?
I had a tie. I'm only gonna mention the fact that I'm gonna mention a non-cardboard alchemy moment because I want to say that Bombusters, which I know will get discussed more, we had a great game of it. And I could have kept going. I thought it was great. So I'll save that for I'm sure it's gonna get
We
mentioned.
would have kept going had someone named Will not killed us.
It's fine. It's a minor thing, the red wire that you cut by accident. But I had this other moment that I wanted to mention, which is that I've been bringing Flamecraft Duels, which is the game we crowdfunded in April. Been bringing that with me to the cons that I've been going to, and I haven't even really been taking care of it. I've been putting it on a table. I asked RageCon if they had a table, like a little small table, and I put it there with 2 chairs, the rule book open, Flamecraft Duels. Anyone who wants to play it can play it. And I didn't expect anyone to sit down, but people did sit down. But my favorite moment is I saw this couple there over and over and over again. And they said, we cannot stop. This game is addictive and it looks so cute, but it's crunchy. And they just really liked it. And I'm just glad when that happens for somebody, like when they find a game that connects. And I went over later to a vendor and said exhibit hall full of I actually found a board game vendor in there, and they said everyone keeps asking if Duels is available because they were playing it over at that table and they think they can get it. So I thought that was a really neat moment for me.
And I hope you turn that board game store into a retail backer.
I think I did. We'll have
Nice.
There's 19 pallets on the way.
There you go.
I worked in a video store when I was in college, and the worst thing in the world was 7,000 people every week would come in asking if we had the movie that was in the theater. This reminds me of that.
Yeah, that's not out yet. You're like, no, not that one.
Yeah, I actually in my video I actually talked about playing duels. Don and I played the very end of the con, but I made a comment on that is how you just put it out there, and someone was always sitting there playing. I don't think I ever saw you guys at the table having to answer questions or anything. I'm sure it happened occasionally, But yeah, people just playing and having a good
No
time. That's exactly
better-
what we did the last night.
No better validation to a rule book than to have it not fail, in cold, like just people just opening it and trying it and not having any questions.
Absolutely.
I mean, they all played it wrong, but
I mean, sure, yeah,
As long as they had fun.
but they had fun. That's the
it's not about whether you won or lost. It's about the friends we made along the way. And so, Don, how about you? What was your best moment?
And picking a weird one, we played Dwellings of Eldervale. We almost always play it. I don't know if we ever haven't played it at a convention. And we had the weirdest game of Dwellings. It was a few of us who have played the game dozens of times, like dozens and dozens of times, and we all failed miserably. Like the winning score was what, 80 points?
More than yours. That's all that matters, buddy.
Which is not great, but
oh, that's a weak sauce.
Yeah, the end game trigger was at like 45. Like,
yeah. So it was. I'm picking it as my best moment just because it's super memorable. Like this is a game. This is my number one game, and we had a lot of fun playing it, and it was just the most surprising ending. Like it just like ended and nobody scored particularly well. We still enjoyed it, but I don't know. It stuck in my brain.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because that was actually almost was my best win until I thought about the pain that the win I picked caused. So I'm like, well, that has to knock it out. But yeah, it was so weird. Like we were all terrible. Just everyone was terrible. But I was a little less terrible.
That would have been a fun game. Could have mopped the floor with all of you in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, I always lose, so that's the thing. But everybody thought was like, "Oh, I would have mopped the floor with you." Not this game.
Not that.
No.
Yeah, this one was. Yeah, would you have?
There was something going.
Darkness and chaos and some other damaging things in there.
I don't know what it was.
Really
like
wacky.
I had a bunch of dwellings, but then I had one adventure card. Like the whole game, I bought one card. I don't know how that happened. So it was a bizarre game, but it was memorable. So that's my best moment.
To the game's credit, Mr. Developer, Shadow Designer, whatever you want to call yourself over there, I saw cards I've never seen before, which was really cool. Like there was spell or adventure cards that I had never seen before, which I was like, that's so cool.
That's amazing.
That is fun.
All right, so moving into the biggest surprise. And so all of us decided to go away from games and kind of stuff at the convention. That was the big surprise. And so I'll start out with Fat Tuesday, which is this super boozy, slushy.
That looked really good. If I could have that type of thing, I would have had one of those.
You would have been very dead.
But you had enough alcohol on you for two of us when you came over with your Fat Tuesday drink.
Oh, yeah, it was just so boozy and just right outside in the hall. But the reason that was the biggest surprise is one, I've been to Vegas before, I've been to Reno before, I've never gone and gotten those things. But because it was right there and someone came up to one of the tables that we were playing at and had one and looked tasty, and then through like weirdness and like stupidity, one guy's like, okay, I'll buy everyone one around the table. And it just started going weird and crazy, but so much fun. Main thing about it that was so great though was Ben Maddox, who every year I get to talk about Ben Maddox and something in his pain every year. This year he came by and he asked Skippy, my brother, how his drink was. And you have to understand, he was blasted. Like I had this ridiculous, my brother, like when we had this terrible game of Wondrous Creatures because I was kind of sober and the other two, both Steves, were so far gone. They had no idea what was happening. And then my brother, like,
didn't know why the dwelling score was what it was.
No, we were sober then, I think. And, you know, Steve idiot savanted his way into a victory, but whatever. So that's when Ben Maddox came over and was like, oh, should I get that one? He's like, yeah, this is great. So Ben Maddox goes and gets one. The next day I was like, how you doing, Ben? He's like, don't talk to me. I was like, look, I have a Fat Tuesday glass. He says, get that away from me. And like he ran away. So Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
Best surprise.
Yeah. All right, Peter, how about you? What was your surprise?
Well, we talked about it a little bit, but the exhibitor hall here's what the surprise is: a dead end, multi-location window selling exhibitor hall turned out to be one of my favorite exhibitor halls that I've ever been to. So they're doing something right in that I felt like there was board games. I ended up buying a board game. There was also, like I said, there was an author, and she was such a charming person to talk to that I bought her first novel. And then I found somebody who was selling like picture frames and funky things to hang up on the wall. And I bought this like weird mushroom that I could put minis on. And then I wish I had some of the.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I bought that thing, and then I got this dragon bracelet that I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. It was by these two people. They were stuck in the far away area, and I felt really bad for them. And I thought, this is going to be one of those moments where I talk to you for a couple minutes and I say nice, polite things, but there's no way I'm buying anything that you have. And then she's like, look at this dragon bracelet that I made. And I was like, that's really cool, actually. And then it wasn't horrible amounts of money. She was asking for a very reasonable amount for this dragon bracelet. And I was like, well, I want to support you. So I ended up going around and I supported a ton of people at that exhibitor hall. And I guess I encouraged the random exhibitor hall life.
Peter paid some mortgages, everybody.
I did not buy any windows though for a house. I didn't do
well, because you don't have enough money for a house anymore because you bought all the dragon necklaces and stuff.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun though. It was a big surprise to me that I think I'm still not a fan of dead ends, but I am a fan of their
well, let me tell you, they're all a fan of you. Like if there was an MVP of the exhibition hall, it was Peter. Like when he came back the last time you had all this stuff, you're like, and I got this, and I got this, and I got this, and this thing. And
it was like, I found innovation, the like Carl Chuddick, like massive set of innovation, and I was like, I must have this now. Oh, it was a good one.
All right, Don, how about you? What was your biggest surprise?
I had something else down, and I switched this to a game right before we started. I bought this tiny game called All Aboard. That is about trying to get animals onto a ship and get them wherever they're trying to go. I don't fully understand the theme, but you are taking turns playing animal cards onto a set of boats. There's one boat per player or player count kind of thing. So if there's 4 players, there's 4 boats. And everybody's putting 3 animals down and they have different characteristics. A lot of it is about the weight. You know, the elephant is super heavy and each boat has a certain capacity. And so it's really dangerous to put an elephant on there because there's going to be 2 other animals and it's probably going to sink. And then each animal or most of the animals have little abilities. Like the fox, if the boat's sinking, he's going to jump to the next boat. No, is that the monkey or the fox?
No,
one of them jumps to that's the fox. The monkey connives with the biggest animal to send the second biggest animal to the next boat, which is a good way to, you know, let the elephant survive or something like that. And so you're trying to have, you know, the heaviest animals on the most boats that don't sink. And Will and I tried to play it 2-player and it was just disastrous. It was not fun at all. But then we played
didn't
it on
finish. This is like a 15-minute game tops. So we're like,
yeah,
we're done.
We're just like, this is not designed for 2 players. But then we played it at 4 players on the train headed home, and it was delightful. It's just like it takes a minute to understand what all the different animals do. You know, the first round, the first time you're playing it is just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but let's put this over here. And by the second round, it's just, you're having fun. You're trying to guess what other people are going to do. One of the 3 cards you play is face down, so there's a little mystery to it. And it was just so much fun. I took it to my sister's house this weekend and we played it at 5 players and just everybody was just loving it. They're just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm having so much fun. So it's one of those games, like it's a little tiny box. You could not tell at all what this game was about from the box. It kind of gave you a sentence poking at the theme. But yeah,
it was a blast, that one. And that is a good game. And one of the things I like a lot about it is that you don't get the animals. You have a deck and you could count cards, I suppose. You could be like, well, Don's already played his elephant, so
yeah,
play that again. That was fascinating, that whole part of it too.
Yeah. So I'm excited to play it some more and like play it repeatedly with people who know it. It will probably come to the table at work. It's a good lunchtime game. It was just a nice surprise. It was a small gamble, not an expensive game, but like you pick it
Yeah.
up, it has cute art, and the box tells you nothing about how the game plays. And I just bought it on a whim, and it's been fun. It was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Oh.
It is all aboard exclamation point, which makes it even better if folks
Note
are
to
looking
self,
for it.
don't need to describe a game on the back to get people to.
I guess.
Yeah. See, so I don't know what you've been doing with your boxes, Peter. Like if I walk over and pick up the Andromeda's Edge and it tells me what's happening on the back, I'm gonna be upset.
There you go. We're doing it wrong.
All right, so we just took a little bit of a break to refill some beverages, get some chargers, and Peter has changed mugs.
Oh no! Now I have. See, like there's a
Oh,
hole.
look. Oh, there's a big old hole in that one.
Yeah.
Is that Voodoo Donuts?
Yeah, I found this at a donut shop, Voodoo Donuts.
That's cool.
Nice.
My son was insulting this one, saying, "You've just lost the ability to hold as much liquid as you could." And I was like, "But it's cool."
I mean, he's not wrong.
But it's joy in its place, though.
Right? Absolutely.
Right.
So
Yeah. All right, so no, we're moving into best loss. And so I actually had a hard time picking this one because I didn't have any like super memorable losses this year where I was like, oh, I was right there. But I'm going to go with Inferno because this is a game that I'm discovering I'm just not good at. But I always start like I'm really good. For like the first 2/3 of the game, I was just running away with it.
you know,
Just
you should have maybe not gone in cold, is what you should have maybe done. No.
I got you. I see what
Yeah.
you did there. Rude. But yeah, I don't know. I started so well. I was like, I got this. I
A
got
nice
this.
feeling while it lasts.
Yep. And then in score, I lost by like 60, 70. It was just terrible. Really cool, clever game. So I understand why it can get away from you. But so I'm gonna go with Inferno. Was my best loss, I think. Peter, how about you?
My best loss is a game that I really like. So I hope this game does not take it the wrong way. But Galactic Cruise, like the best experience I had at the con, but also perhaps one of the worst choices I made to start it at like 1 in the morning and to play with some players with AP.
He
And
says
so
some AP. How
I
long did
mean,
that game take, Peter?
oh my God. I think it was morning, and in a casino, that feels like it's kind of just the beginning of the best time to go to the blackjack or craps tables. But to me, it was agony because I knew what I wanted to do on my turn. I was like, take one action, I'm ready to go. Oh my God, I'm waiting forever. So I really like that game, but now I don't know if I like it at 4 players, unless you have 4 players that know it, or I don't know, unless you start earlier. That was maybe a bad choice. So I also lost horribly. I would have, maybe that was the reason why I didn't like it as much. No, it's a great game. My best loss because it was a loss from several angles.
Loss of innocence.
Loss of time. Yeah. Oh,
You know, I in retrospect, I wish I'd added to this, worst decision because you were talking about, oh, it's a bad decision.
yeah.
Because at the
Yeah.
same time, my dumb self had past midnight went and got a big old order of nachos while we were playing a late night game, and let me tell you, that was a bad idea.
Worst decision. Yeah.
Oh, such a bad idea.
You tried to get me to make the same decision the next night. You should try the nachos.
And you were going for it, and we walked up. And I told, I think I told Luke, I was like, you really shouldn't get these nachos. Like, I'm just now, 30 hours later, like, I'm human again.
How dare you?
All right, Don, how about you? What was your best loss?
Yeah, so I originally put Backyard Chickens down just because that was such a fun experience, but I remembered that I wasn't actually playing. I just taught the game. I was originally gonna play, and then we ended up filling the spots with other folks. I gotta say
It is a
Ahoy.
Loss. Wait, that is you didn't give
Yeah, I
me-
mean, it was
No, it was a lot of fun. It was delightful. So it was a win for me.
Oh, okay.
I gotta say Ahoy because that might have been the late night game where you got the nachos.
Yep.
And it's a game that I went into reluctant because it's not a game I was interested in, and it was the middle of the night and I just wanted it to end.
Yeah.
So I was just fine with losing because it was not my game. And we were having fun being together, but not playing the game. So
Yeah, we finished
I
that
don't
one
know.
at to 2:30, and that was the same night that
Yes,
you
we
were
did.
playing Galactic Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
It
still
was a
had 2.5
cursed
hours to
evening.
go.
Did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
On a more positive one, like we played Silver and Gold at some point, which is a game I played a million times. And Grant Lyon joined us, and he had played it before, but got to give him like the 2 minute reteach, and it was just a fun game. We played it so fast. I did not win. He won that game, I think. Yeah,
Oh yeah, because he
and
actually was using strategy. That's right. I remember that. Like we
yeah,
were just
weirdo.
playing. He's like, "Well, wait, like, this means this." He was like doing the
Yes,
statistics and stuff.
Grant's
And
really
then
yeah.
good.
So that
Yeah.
was a fun loss, just because it was a good experience. I think it was the first time I ever played a game with Grant, and I enjoyed that one. So several entries from me.
No, no, I was just saying that's nice. Grant's a great guy and good at games. So I most of the time
Yeah.
you play with Grant, you're gonna suffer one of your best losses.
all right, let's keep it going with Don and go right into our best win.
Okay, so I one of the scheduled games I signed up for, and I think this might have been the one where a stranger was teaching it, was Resurgence, which is a game that I backed when it was on Kickstarter, and I have still not played my copy.
Mm.
So when I saw it on the schedule, I thought, you know what, I'm going to sign up for this. I'm going to have somebody teach it to me, and then I'll know that I like it, and I'll actually get my copy played. It was a lot of fun. It's by Stan Kordonsky. I tend to like his games. He's a clever designer. The reason it was my best win is there was a guy playing at the table who just frankly had a dumb question every turn. His turn would come around and he would ask a question he'd already asked, and he'd ask a question we all knew the answer to. And somehow, halfway through the game, he just started flying up the score track.
He
And
just
if
had to hit that button enough times before it started working.
I guess, and just like if the guy teaching the game hadn't been watching him like a hawk, I would have thought he was just making points up because he clearly had no idea what he was doing. And I think I beat him by 5 points at the end of the game. And so it was a very sweet victory because I could not stand the idea of this guy who was just lost the entire game, then winning the game.
He was doing the
So
board game equivalent of button mashing and just
yes,
crushing it.
yes. So it was a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to playing my copy. And yeah, that's my pick for best win.
Yeah. Now I know the story behind Peter, so we're gonna let Peter go last on this because it's pretty epic. So
Mhm.
for me, it is Thunder Road, which I played
Nice.
once, and the guy who owned it, I can't remember his name right now. He was such a nice dude, and
Yeah.
he's probably watching this too, and I feel so bad. I can't remember, but he had the everything copy,
Yes.
everything, and we're playing with all this stuff I'd never seen before, and we're playing, and it's going bad for me. And then I get one little break, and I have my one car way out ahead, and he thinks he's gonna get me killed anyway. And I hit the tile, and a special thing happens, and it's a sandworm. I'm like, what
Oh,
does that do? And he says, I don't know. I've never seen that before. And so he's flipping through the book, and then what it did was killed him and took him out of the game, so I won, which was glorious.
Beautiful.
And then the next day he was like, rematch? I was like, you're on. Crushed him.
Nice.
wow.
Dominated again. I am the all-time greatest Thunder Road player at RageCon
Wow.
2025. You can't take this from me.
Nice.
So that was just. And now if you play Thunder Road, like there's no strategy. Like
Oh no, I have played it one time with a decked out, blinged out copy, and I had like, oh, I had the best position, and nobody, everyone else had like one car, and then one card comes out, I lose everything, and I go, okay, so I guess that's this game.
yep.
You know?
So you just go into it for the chaos, and the
Right.
chaos served me so
Yeah.
well. So, 'cause, I mean, and just to see his face when he's like, he looks up from the book, it means I die. It's just so good,
Well,
so good. All right, Peter, tell us your even better win.
well, I had a good win. As I mentioned, have been playing a lot of Andromeda's Genesis. Luke, when I get a chance to play Luke, I will say this. I think that Luke and I are not the most winningest players at Dwellings or Andromeda, but we play for the fun, right? And when I'm playing against Luke, we do have a little bit of trash talk because we're usually in the same part of the score track. So we're playing Andromeda's Edge against, and this is a win primarily because of the people we're playing with. Apparently, there's this couple, Rolo and Jen, that they come from Georgia to RageCon. Now they would win for biggest travel to Reno, except there's a person from Germany that shows up. But they come to RageCon to play with Luke, so they wanted to play Andromeda's Edge Genesis. They love the game, and they were trash talking each other and Luke and I, and just barely met them, and they were making this game so much fun. But in this particular version of the game, whatever was happening to my cards and my situation, I was rushing it. And then Luke started to, so I was like, just was in the zone. And then Luke started to get combo after combo. He was coming for me. And I was doing one strategy. He was doing another strategy. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to take it. I'm going to take it. The other two sports, I think they had a good time. They were left in the dust by the both of us who were having our most ideal game ever. And when it came down to the scoreboard, and I'm saying that Luke and I do not score above 200 that often, but he scored 202, and I scored 202. And then the final thing, there was one more thing that we're like, oh, but then we also have to score our leaders. And I had 3 leaders and he had 0. So I came out with 205, and I beat Luke Laurie at his own game, which,
Beautiful.
That's not the part. The part was, it was so close. It was so close. It could have been anyone's game. And the reason why I love that game too is that I could have lost, and I still had every moment of that game leading to that. But the cherry on top was to take it. I was just like, all right, this was a blast.
And the cherry on top of that for me is, back in the day, having extra leaders out there were negative points. And I was like, I don't like that. And had that still been the case, you would have lost.
I would have lost that one because I didn't get all the leaders to their proper.
Oh, I complained about that, and it's not in the game. It got fixed. I take everything back I said earlier.
Yeah, right. You have a lot of power.
I also complained about that. I'm going to say it was my doing, not yours. Well,
oh, okay. So it's a win for everybody because the game.
There you go.
It's mostly a win for Peter. It was 3 years coming.
Yeah, that was such a good game. And when that game sings, and I mean, the company was really the part of it that was the best, but it was such a tense, close match.
I was going to say, I think the post-mortem on that game was at least as long as the game itself, because you all were talking for a long time after you finished playing. It was great.
Yeah, Don and I played a game of duels. We started to play a game of Starship Captains. And then we were gonna play, and then Luke's like, "Oh, what's going on? Can I get in?" We're like, "Sure." And then Luke sat down and was like, "Let me tell you a story." It was like 45 minutes of story, and then we started playing. But yeah, that was great. So moving into game of the con, and I'll take this one first. It is Backyard Chickens.
Beautiful.
Without a doubt, not even close. It was so good, I can almost not play again because it will never happen again. I will never witness that kind of just savant level chickening.
Savant level chickening. I love it.
It was beautiful. But yeah, that I will remember that game for years. So that's me, Backyard Chickens. Peter, how about you?
Well, this is an interesting way to do best game of the con because I've talked a lot about the games I had brought there, and so that was a lot of the games that I played. But we were fortunate enough to be in a zone of the con that we were next to, Office Dog, Asmodee, and Bree Woodward, who was taking the job of representing all of the games that she's helping bring to market, right? And I think that every game that she's touching is turning to gold because she made my game of the year for last year, River of Gold, happen and become this amazing game that you shared with me. And then the Fellowship trick-taking game that she's helping make possible, that is hot. People love that game. and I played a lot of that. We played that on TrainCon, and then I got to sit down with Will and we played There and Back Again, which is like, to me, I mean, I know they're doing a lot of Lord of the Rings, so this is like a no-brainer that I will like all of the stuff that they're doing. But it was so thematic and interesting. I didn't even get a full game of it, and I'm just saying that I think everything they're touching over there. I didn't also get it's the pandemic style one on the table that
Yeah,
she had
the
on.
Fate of the Fellowship, which I played a couple games of that. I just played another game yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game, and I mean
It's
this one
delightful.
right here is a beautiful game too. This Crafting the Cosmos, just the way they're putting games together, just stunning.
They're on my list of and something about Bree. I connected with Bree over at KublaCon as well, and I'm blown away by what they do. It's like having a mirror to another type of publisher, because I crowdfund. We have a different kind of budget, a different kind of audience, a different kind of community. Bree admitted that her budget, like, they have to pinch pennies for every game because of the scale they're doing games on, whereas we're kind of splashing around these deluxe components, and she gets make that same awesomeness with this budget for that game, because you have to make all these other ones. And so I'm even more impressed that the games are coming out the way they're coming out. So to me, their whole line is my best game of the con.
Yeah, I got to play Fate of the Fellowship there with Will, and that's a fantastic production, given that background. It's great.
Yeah.
And the game is so thematic, and like Pandemic is great. And I've never played Fall of Rome, which I guess is what this is closest to, but just it so fit the theme. It was great.
Yeah.
All right, Don, take us home. What was your game of the con?
I've got to go with Bombusters. It was just such a nice surprise. Like I said, everybody's heard of this game except me until last weekend, and or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. It was just so much fun. It was a nice surprise. We only went through the training missions. There are 8 training missions. We went through the first 3, and then I made the mistake of reading the little note that says, if you feel like you're ready, go ahead and skip to 8.
Spoiler, we weren't ready.
And everybody at the table but me was like, yeah, skip to 8. And so we skipped to 8. We died once, but then we finished 8. And so we are qualified to defuse bombs now. But that was like, we'd put in enough time. It felt like a good breaking point. So we didn't crack the box for the first of the official missions, but it was just a fun time. And, for anybody who doesn't know, it's a cooperative deduction game where everybody's got a set of wires in front of them in numerical order, and you're trying to match numbers you have to numbers somebody else has through deduction. And those can be hit and miss for me, but this one was just delightful.
It has some cleverness of like Hanabi to me as well, because of you can keep you're keeping your tiles in front of you, and you can create spaces between the tiles to suggest information. Like,
Yes.
I have bunched these two together. That should tell you that they are the same, and yet every player is different. So then some player goes, no, that's not code for that. That's code for don't touch these or whatever.
Or for me, it was they are in sequence. Like, that's a 7 and an 8, not two 8.
So you're trying to deduce all those patterns out there.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. It's got a delightful.
Because I'm so bad. Like that. This is the type of game that I am the worst at.
I really enjoyed playing this game with both of you, but I also really enjoyed playing this game with your brother, who, like, really, I was like, yeah, so we know that if that information is known by that person and this information is known, and Don is that in front of him, then we can figure out that this is not possible, that Karen has that tile has to be good.
And then I'm like, this one dead.
So your brother was great. I really had
that's it. It's interesting. That's the big difference, like, between he and I. Like, that's his brain, and I'm like, oh, like, I remember when Search for Planet X was coming out, and at DungeonCon or whatever, they had a demo right before, and they were talking about. I was like, this is not for me. And Steve sat down and left with the highest score that they'd ever seen before, and like everyone at the table's like crying because he was like, yeah, it was obvious, and they kind of walked away.
It's obvious.
Yeah, it's very, very, very much different brains. Like I'm so bad at this style of game that I often feel I stress out. I'm like, I'm gonna kill us all. It's gonna be my fault.
Yeah.
But it's a very cool game. Really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does one of my
One. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it was one of my favorite things that's a trend of late that I happen to also believe in is the tuck boxes or the secret boxes that you can open. The
Yes.
discovery is, I think, one of the biggest trends we're gonna see happen in games, and I hope I don't miss the boat and I can get in some discovery envelopes and boxes in a future Cardboard Alchemy game because I love that idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don pointed out something that I thought I still think's hilarious. It's the only thing that makes me want to go back to this game was
Mini?
the standee.
The standee, rather.
That it doesn't put it in a box. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not going to use this till game 66.
Yeah.
Like, I want to
Don't-
get to 66.
I think it even said, "Don't worry about it." Like there's a standee in the punch board. You put it together, and in the rule book, there's a picture of it, and it says, "You won't need this till mission 66. Don't worry about it," which is the last mission. So I'm excited to see what it does.
And I'm worried about it.
Yeah, I know.
That
Now
too.
I have to know.
Like, I wish you hadn't told me it says don't worry about it. Now this is living rent free in my head.
There you go. You're welcome.
All right, so we're about to have a shift where somebody new is going to come in and talk after the little sponsor bump that we're going to do. But so, Peter, we're going to give it to you. What are your gaming words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom.
I'm
Yeah.
off the hook.
Yeah, you're off the hook this time, Don. Don's like, let's
Watch
always
out.
have another guest.
Watch out for late night nachos, AP players, and people who cut the red wire. I don't know what my gaming words of wisdom.
I mean,
It's pretty
fair.
good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. Yeah,
take
all
the-
those together is just danger.
is me. All those together is me. Oh
I
no,
didn't
not
wanna
AP.
say
I
it
don't
out
have
loud.
AP. I don't have
No,
AP.
you don't have AP.
No, no.
You're fine. You actually have the opposite of AP, whatever that is.
Yeah, Peter wishes I had some AP and Bombusters. Well, just slow. No, take longer. Will take longer. No, I got this. Take
over.
longer. Last thing before we get you. So, Peter, how can people buy any of your games right now if they wanted to?
Oh, well, this is a great time because Flamecraft Duels is on late pledge only for this month, and it's not to be missed. It's our fifth game in Cardboard Alchemy, and I think it's going to be possibly our most popular one. And if you want to get in on Andromeda's Edge Genesis, well, it's going to be on GameFound in September, and we have a notification page. You can find it at Andromeda's Edge Genesis on GameFound and sign up to be notified for a very big blockbuster type experience coming up next.
And everybody, that is Beatrice the Board Game Dog's Game of the Year
Right?
last year, Andromeda's Edge.
All the blueberries paid off that I
Mhm.
bribed her with. Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody, if you haven't seen it, Beatrice picks her Game of the Year by Blueberry, which is the only fair scientific way.
Absolutely.
And when Peter was up for DonCon, I saw him like sitting on the floor with a handful of blueberries, just like feed them to her. He's like, "You like Andromeda's Edge? Yeah, you want a good doggo? You like it just." And apparently, it stuck.
It worked.
All right, Don, got any final thoughts for us?
No, I like the nacho wisdom, the late night game wisdom.
I
Gotta
cannot
pick the right
express
games
everybody
late at night.
how horrible. Like, I would never got sick. I didn't get sick.
No,
but
he was
I
fine. He
wish-
just felt off.
Yeah,
for
I just
about
kind of wish I'd gotten
24
sick.
hours.
It just it was a long time. So anyhow, on that gross end thought, enjoy this commercial from Noble Knight Games, everybody.
Here at Noble Knight Games, we've been carefully growing the world's largest selection of board games, role-playing games and dice, war games, miniatures and paints, card games, and more, going on 25 years now. Our rustic castle contains more game and hobby goodness than you can shake a stick at, complete with careful packaging and the finest customer service the land can provide. You can buy, sell, trade from anywhere in the world, just like nature intended. Noble Knight Games.
Okay, and we are back, and as you can see, Peter and Don are gone, replaced by Lana, or Navigator Lana, from her own thing, and also one perhaps the power behind the throne, we'll say, of Level Up Board Game Podcast. And Lana has joined me to talk about Conquest Princess, a game that she recently got a copy of because I made her and she's been playing it this weekend. And so we're going to talk about it, even though I've talked about it several times on the podcast in many different places. And it was my game of the year last year, and Beatrice the Board Games Dog runner-up game of the year last year. So high praise there.
There we go.
Yeah, nobody saw you do that, and
nobody saw me do that at all. I knew it was going to be obvious. I had it nice and covered before, but then so everybody knows, my brew tonight was taking much longer. I was brewing a coffee drink here, and it was taking significantly longer to brew. But you know what? It's in a cool little Dungeons and Dragons mug, so it's worth the wait.
And I am drinking a Fort Point orange beer. I forget what this was called. Primo, an American Pilsner. Fort Point, feel free to sponsor us. They never do. They don't care.
They never do. They don't catch it.
I keep trying.
You got to send an email out to them. You got to send an email out to them and sweet talk them and say, well, keep talking about your beer. I'll keep bringing your beer on Boards and Brews if I,
Yeah, all they would have to do is send me I don't know,
a keg.
Well, no, I don't want that, but I don't know, 12 beers a month or something.
Right. See, there you go.
That'd be great. Anyhow, so also everybody, so Elaine and I also are about to, as soon as we're done here, move over to Level Up Board Game Podcast and record with them. So we're going to try to keep this quick. So we're going to try to keep our tangents to a minimum, and we're going to jump right in, and we're going to talk about Conquest Princess. Now, if you don't know, Conquest Princess is a crisis management game, and it's a world of friendship, and fashion is power, and you win the game through teamwork and friendship and consent and all these kinds of things that you don't think about in games. And it is a fever dream theme because the fashion tyrant Mugaha is trying to destroy the world, and so you're going out there with your other fashion agents in your time ship, and then you can come together into the Conquest Princess, which is like Voltron or Power Rangers, and you have to have your pet co-pilots to help you out. It's crazy pants. And at the core, you have this little armband. It's like your little armband. You're doing things
on bracelet or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're taking 4 actions each turn, sometimes 5, and so you're moving, you're activating the space you're on, you're shooting bad guys, and all this stuff. And all the attacking is done with this cooperative bag build, meaning there's one bag with all these cool tiles in it. If you got the deluxe, and you should have the deluxe, or you're a peasant. And
I got the deluxe.
Well, you're not a peasant. Exactly. And all these tiles in there, but the whole table shares this one bag. And when you pull out a hit or a miss, they don't immediately go back into the bag. They stay out on the board. So you're constantly managing what tiles are you putting back into the bag, how are you culling the bag, and all of these different things. Very, very fast overview, but that's the core of it. So, Elena, I'm going to let you go first. Tell me the things that are working for you about Conquest Princess.
The theme is huge for me because everywhere I turn, there is something that is so creative. Like your main ship hub is Tiara, and there's a whole acronym for it that I don't remember what it is. But everything cracks me up, how it's the tiara, it's the halo, it's your wrist bracelet that goes with it. So the theme on that alone just captured me in because I was like, this is hilarious. Like every spot I turn to has some reason for it being here. And one of the things that I do really like is that it is, like you said, this cooperative bag building, because it seems so often when you're doing bag builders, it's always your own thing. Like even if I don't even know if I've probably done a cooperative bag builder of some sort, but I mean, it always feels like your bag is your own bag. You're creating your own little bag. But the fact that everybody has to work together to try and build this up and move things around. And one of my other favorite things is that, moving to another spot and you get to use somebody else's suit power with their consent, to use their suit power and all of that. And I think one of the other really cool aspects of it is that when you go to play the game, there's like 3 or 4 different ways that you can play it. And then there's all sorts of levels of difficulty you can play. And each one that I've played so far, and I haven't played all of them yet, but they play so differently, yet still the same. Like you get everything, some of the same, but then each level has some sort of new crazy boss that you got to fight against, or some new mission that you got to rescue, and some new switch up of the rules without being too overwhelming.
And so what she's referencing is there are, in the core game, there's 4 scenarios, and there's a small expansion you buy that has 4 more scenarios. Mm-hmm. And one of them is the tutorial scenario. Then you'll have the basic scenario, which is pretty hard. So in the core game, it is rescuing your pet co-pilots. And it's about you're moving around the board and you're collecting dice off the board, and what we didn't even talk about is on either side of the board, there's 2 other boards that are doing stuff.
Yeah.
And so in the second mission, there's the board on the left, which is kind of like Space Invaders. And you're moving out there and you're shooting these ships. And as you shoot the ships, you're getting these dice that you need. And the aliens are moving down, moving down. Then the other side is kind of like Centipede. There's like a giant centipede that you're shooting at, and you're trying to get the dice from that. And so if you get all 4 pets, hooray, you've won that game. But then the next one, which I know you haven't played yet, you are in the Conquest Princess, and it's flying around through space, and it's constantly moving every single turn. And so you're trying to get the Conquest Princess to this portal. Meanwhile, on the other side, there's all these big bugs like blasting mortars. They're not really mortars, but that's a good example, into the ship. And there's slimes going into the ship, and there's other bad guys dropping into the ship. And it's a totally different vibe of what you're doing. Then the next one is the boss battle, where you're controlling the arms of the Conquest Princess and fighting a boss. All kinds of crazy stuff around a basic scenario. So that's what she was referencing there. And I do want to talk about the theme a little bit. And I don't know how much one of the designers, Seppi, is joking and how much he is serious. Because he always talks about how this game is autobiographical for him. Yes. And one of the things he talks about, like he'll be teaching the game, and I've been with him when he taught the game many times, and he'll say something. So one of the things that happens is if you pull a miss out of the bag, it goes onto your board. And you can keep that miss out of the bag the next turn. And if you do that, you gain power. And he says, sometimes if you hold on to stuff, like, you can learn from, there's power in that. And then he always says, but my therapist tells me I have to let things go. So the second turn, you have to let it go. And I don't know if that is a joke or that is real.
Or if it's truly put into there. Yeah, if it's truly put into there as like thematic therapy through board gaming, which is totally a thing. Like, there's all sorts of things, and it's a growing field. And I love that that's in there, and the way that you do have to cooperate together. And
well, and so just to kind of finish my thought.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yes.
I love and hate it if it's like real. One, because like, wow, that's really cool, and also like, I just want to give you a hug.
Yeah.
But so thematically, that's there. Crazy pants, cool little fashion items you're getting. I have to call out, I'm gonna pull it off the wall here. Beatrice, the board game dog, is one of the pet co-pilots that you can get. And I have here, when my copy arrived, a little hand-drawn thing that the artist did for me of,
oh my gosh, I love
Beatrice, the board game dog, there as her character. So, is it pandering to me? Maybe, but I'm here for it.
That's why you love it. It's okay. But you know what? That means we all love it because of Beatrice.
Yeah, but though, to the game's credit, I first played this like 4 years ago at KublaCon. And Seppi said, no, we're going to play this game. And it was fine. Like, it was fine. And it was, the bag thing was kind of cool, but I wasn't excited about it. I enjoyed it. It might, at that time, have fallen into my top 10 crisis management games, maybe.
Right.
But probably not. But it's been improved so much over the years, so I'm very excited about it. Anyhow, I've interrupted you. I'm that guy.
No, it's okay.
I'll let you get back to it.
It's funny, but speaking of the changes that it made, I went back and watched like one of the old videos that you had when it was still in the prototype, and it was so fascinating to see how much had evolved from the prototype version, which they usually do. But every now and then you see some videos and you're like, prototype, and you're like, oh, it hardly changed at all. But how much this one evolved and how much it looks, better and got improved upon and all of that. One of the things that I really enjoyed too about it is that I like to play solo board games a lot. I mean, I love to play with people. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I had my choice, I would have everybody sit down and play a board game with me all day, every day. But that's usually not the reality of the situation, is that people have lives, people have jobs, your family's doing other things, or sometimes they just don't want to sit and learn another new game for you because they're not into the hobby the way that we are. And so from the solo perspective, I was like, oh, good. It has a solo variant on it that I can see. I don't even want to call it a solo variant because I love that the solo version is no different than the regular game. There's no Anima bots you're trying to contend with or anything like that. All you're doing is just working with all of your characters.
Yep,
And that's it. And I
you're gonna
just kind
set
of
it up
line them up and I
differently.
just go like that.
Yep, and you just set it up
Yeah.
differently.
I'm like,
And
I just set
now
it up like that and just set it up and lay it out so I can see the whole thing, and that's it. That's all I gotta
and
do.
I know you don't have it because you are a peasant, but the game mat for this game, which is
Oh yeah, yeah,
ginormous. Like I think
yeah,
you could use it as a comforter on a queen size bed. Like that's
yeah,
how big this thing is. But it
yeah.
has all this crazy theme on the front. It like has the org chart of the pets and like who's the chief pet
Right.
down to the bottom, and it has all these different planets.
Oh,
And
nice.
as you read into some of the lore on some of the planets, some of them are like real dark. It's like, that's dark. That's real dark. And you wouldn't think that. But then if you flip it over, it's just purple and it has outlines of where everything goes for the solo game, which is just a very, very nice touch.
Yeah, after playing it this weekend, I played it on my Game Toppers mat that was like the space one that I got just at Origins, and it looked great on there. But I did start thinking, I was like, maybe later on I'll have to get the mat for it now too, to just really just drive home the thematic feel to it.
Yeah, I think the thing that I like the most about it, I mean, I do like those scenarios like you mentioned, but the way the bag works, I find that just
Yeah.
fascinating as you're going through because you know what's in there.
Yes.
I mean, you literally can, if you take a moment and look at the table, you say, I know exactly what's in here. And in some of the scenarios, especially one of the second one that you played, you don't get those tiles back from some of the boards until you filled the whole tile. And so by succeeding, you're hurting yourself. And so as you're going around, sometimes you're making that choice of who's going to go first by who can take the damage that's going to come out. And it's just really, really clever. I've never played something like it. So I really, really adore that. But
yeah, because like I said, I like enjoying it. I can look at the board and go, all right, I've drawn a bajillion critical misses, which is only like 4 of them, but 4 of them are out on the board right now. So I know I can't do any worse than this right now.
And yet somehow you do.
And somehow I do, because then I pulled out like 3 misses in a row. And I'm like, I just pulled out like all the bad dice out of the bag, or I mean, all the bag tiles out of the bag, and like back to back to back to back. And I'm like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's weirdly exciting too when you're playing.
It is.
You know, usually there's always a chance that you're going to get the one thing. There's always that chance. And I'd be remiss if I didn't tell everybody that it's really hard.
Yes. Yeah, I did not pass the second scenario. It took me a couple times to pass through it before I could
I've
get
gotten
through
to the point where I'm like 50-50, maybe a little better on that pet scenario. The next scenario, I think I'm 20%, and I've never won the boss yet, and they're not even talking about the expansion.
Yeah,
but not everything is sunshine and roses here.
Nope.
Not everything. So let's talk about maybe the things that are maybe a little bit of the quibbles, as I like to call them. I'll jump into my first one is I have a tough time finding details in the rulebook sometimes. It's there, but thinking of the last time I played, I finally just messaged Seppi. I was like, I can't pick, what does the power-up token do in this one? And he told me, I was like, oh yeah, there it is. So for my brain, sometimes some of the details I have a hard time finding.
That was one of my big things, was constantly having to go back and forth. Like, one of the times it took me significantly longer than I thought it would, because I just kept going back. And I'm notoriously the type of person with rule books. I love a really good detailed rule book. So you can put all the stupid questions in there, because I am very good at overthinking things to a fault. And because of that, though, when I read through rule books, I will question every little thing, that wondering if I'm doing it wrong or not. And sometimes I've had to learn with rule books, and even when I was playing through this sometimes, and I'm like, I don't want to keep constantly going on the BGG forums. I don't want to message Seppi 50 times to go, what does this mean? What does this mean? That I'm like, I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to go with what my gut says on this. But there'll be a question that I'll think, wait, shoot again. Does that mean I get to stack it on top of there? Does that not mean I get to stack it? Wait, does that mean I get to go? I'm like confused on that.
Obviously, it gets replaced. Duh.
Right. And But it'll be all these little things that's like that. And I will go back and I'll find it. It's just a little bit on the organization side that there's something on it that I would have just tweaked around a bit to make it a little bit more streamlined.
Yeah,
in
I
the
agree.
rules.
And
And that
to be
was
clear,
what it was.
everybody, I don't think
Yeah,
either. You
it's
can
not
correct me.
bad.
Yeah, it's not. This
Yeah.
is not a bad rule book.
No,
There's
no.
some of the details I have a hard time finding. Now, the next one for me, and this is, I'm sure you're going to agree with me on this one. Everyone's agreed with me on this one. It's huge.
Yeah.
Like, it is huge. This is a massive, massive game. And to their credit, after the preview, and I helped them get some content for the preview, there was actually one creator that wound up liking the game a lot that said, we can't record this because we can't fit it on our camera. And since then,
Yeah.
they actually reduced the size by about 20%. So what you have is like 20% smaller
Oh my gosh.
than what it originally was. It is.
Yeah, when I was going through, it was like, it was big. I have for reference, I have a table that, well, my mat that's on there is 48 by 48. And it took, my youngest son was using a corner of it on his laptop, or using a corner of my game table, because he likes to kind of hang out in there while I play some games. And I mean, I shoved him so far to the corner and was like, this is all my space right now. This game is just everywhere. And I was glad I have a standing game table, because I was able to stand and kind of reach across. But yeah, make sure your game table, there's some games you can play and you can kind of have a couple boxes tucked off to the side and you're like, I'm going to get to those later. No, make sure your table is completely clear on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. I can play it solo on my 3x4 game topper I have in the back.
Yeah.
But usually I go out to the dining room table. It's a big one, and it'll spread out. So it's really, really big. And then my only other quibble that I have about this game is I will also say it's not a huge box, everybody. It takes up a lot of space,
No.
but the box is not huge. But anyhow, this is a solo, a 2-player, or a 4-player game. At 3 players, there's one floating character that you kind of have to figure out who's going to control it. And when I'm teaching the game, that's fine, because I'll just play the other one because I've played. But if everyone's played, it's a little bit wonky. But
right.
That's all I got. Those are all my quibbles.
I haven't done it with the 3-player. I would say I had a little bit of a love-hate with the learn to play tutorial. But to be fair, for me, I kind of have that among most of the tutorials that
Oh, so you're a snob.
those walkthrough. I try to like them, but then I always end up, again, because I'm the type with a whole bunch of questions, that I'll start questioning all sorts of things, and then I have to remember this is just a taste of what's to come. So I have to remind myself over and over again. Those questions will probably get answered in the actual game. Because I start looking at things and I'm like, why isn't the power up here? I don't understand why this power up is like this. And then of course I get to the next scenario. I'm like, oh, there it is. Now they're out. And so, if you're a person who gets stuck up on rules, kind of like I can overthink the whole thing. Just go with this tutorial scenario. But there's parts of it where I wish it would just add in a little blurb, just a little extra thing that says, this will get covered later. That'd be great. But that's a very small kind of me thing.
And so what I'm going to drop here before we wrap up, because we're now into our other recording time. So there is another expansion coming. And in this expansion, it does lots of stuff, but they are specifically addressing playing with 3 characters.
Oh, that's good.
That is a specific thing that they're going to address. Exactly how that's going to work, I don't know. I'm hoping that Seppi's going to let me preview it. I don't know. Seppi, let me preview it. But they're specifically working on one where you'll only play with 3 of the heroes instead of 4, I guess. Not exactly sure.
That's cool. Yeah. That'd be nice on it. But overall, I love this one. I think you say it's great when you say it's a fever dream. It's just let go and just let your imagination run wild. And that is in this game. You get a good board game where you got a lot of mechanics, different style mechanics that you like. You get the bag builder, you get some, building up your resources, building up your fashion power on the game for each character that you're playing. But you also get to have such a fun time with this one because there's just so much creativity, things that make you laugh, things that make you smile, and you're like, oh my god, that's hilarious! I want that because I like the way that looks for my boots. I can picture that on my boots, and they're even the rule book makes it fun. They're like makes it fun. They're like, all right, strike a pose, kind of thing, and it's a blast. It's so just the theme alone just has a
We
great
didn't even
time with
talk
it.
about the magical girl transformation.
Exactly, we didn't get to it.
Yeah, so if you level yourself up, I'm not going to get into how you do it. You have the magical girl transformation. If you have the deluxe bits, which I hope you have the deluxe bits,
I do have the deluxe bits. Yes.
you change your standee and you put it on a light up base, which is ridiculous.
Yes. It's amazing.
The most unnecessary thing this side of the Dwellings of Eldervale sound bases. But I'm here for it and I love it. I love this game. And in fact, I actually wore
Oh,
my
Duffy,
Fight in
I
the
want
Box.
his Fight in the Box shirt. I'm just over here with a boring old Nintendo shirt.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I want a
right.
Fight in the
See,
Box shirt. I know.
if you're just listening, I held my Fight in the Box t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
And I'm
maybe
very
was
jealous that I don't have a Fight in the Box t-shirt. I know. And
right.
Seppi, if you when you watch this, you know, you have my address. Just saying, or PAX.
Well, I bet if you ordered a playmat,
I probably
maybe
would.
he could add a
Maybe
shirt
he'll.
into that package.
Yeah.
Seppi,
Seppi.
I'm writing checks that you have to cash here, but like whatever, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, that was a quick, fast, and dirty moment here to get the review in. We have to get to another podcast here, but very fast, in like 2 sentences. What are your gaming words of wisdom?
Oh, my gaming words of wisdom today is you should probably come prepared to the game table. Like no matter what it is you're gonna do, just be prepared. Because, it took me forever to brew up a coffee and it just makes me think, you know, sometimes just be prepared with whatever it is you need. Know in advance what you gotta do.
Exactly. All right, Lana, thank you so much for joining me on this. Everybody, if you're interested in Conquest Princess, they are available. Get one. I highly recommend picking it up. Get the deluxe bits. You'll love it. And keep watching the channel for hopefully some information on the next expansion. And actually, I
Yeah.
also have a how to play video for Conquest Princess. It's out there. It's with the prototype, but it's
Yeah.
good enough for government work. In any event, Lana, again, thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, have a wonderful, wonderful day.
But the good was good.
Take off my pajamas today.
Mm.
That's not true. I did take off my pajamas. I went somewhere. I came back, and at like 11 o'clock, I put pajamas back on. Oh my god! He didn't even fill out the doc. Unbelievable.
Right? Absolutely unprofessional.
Glorious thing here is notice who won all 3 Critter Kitchens.
Wow.
Boom.
Boom.
Was able to figure it out because it's
Yeah.
so different. Wow, look who decided to join us. Wow. Look at that scowl he's giving us too.
There we go. Hey,
You have to acknowledge the scowl first before you're allowed to. I just had that recently where I didn't make it to a gas station. And I think that's been maybe 35 years since that's happened to me. But I felt like an ass. I had bought a new car. It was like a used car for my kid.